In Act 1, I knew that it would be interesting to play with who the characters were, animal or flora or object-wise, and how we can play with details that people may not honestly, truly understand the fruition of until the end, and just insert them as kind of little sparks of possibility, as well as little hints, not knowing that, who everyone is in the end. So it was the subtleties of character that I know Kim was also interested in playing with. So that's kind of where Act 1 leaned into. And then Act 2, we knew we wanted to go more skin, more raw, more feeling it's closer to animal than it is wearing all of the layers of clothes, and just more vulnerable in that sense. And with that, highlighting features of each of the characters individually in a more direct way. So like having a mane, or having fur, or having spikes. It also worked out that we went from kind of a palette that has a more of a black note in the sense of darker tones. It's much more moody. And then in Act 2, we ended up going in a lighter note. That's a lot more of the creams and playing with kind of that shift as well. I learned a lot just about playing with different materials and different routes we can do to texture things, or just diving in and being like, we'll see where it goes, and seeing if we need to alter or change it. And things that people often don't know, like we had to figure out ways to keep the shirts staying inside people's pants. So it's working with techniques but adapting them always for the specific situation, I guess. And it's like, yes, this might work in this situation, but it's not working this one, so how can we adapt things? Or this material might not survive, so what else could we use? Or we don't just have it. So it's a continual opportunity to develop and work on your problem-solving skills, because it never ends. It's always a mental play as well as a creative play. I think the beauty of every project is that you get to work with a select group of people for a very short amount of time, and you really become a family, and you learn how to adapt things for particular people as they work with the pieces you have. And I think that especially working with dancers and working on this show that has a lot of elements that you're trying to kind of make live in a way that's outside their normal state. Like formal wear isn't typically, the most dancer show friendly stuff. There's a lot of stretch that happens in dance, or a lot of casual wear, I guess. So I think that the beauty of this show is that it's the problem solving of finding out how elements that you desire to be in a piece and desire to have them live on the stage with the dancers in that way, how do you make that happen? I mean, I love working with you guys, so it's hard to not like gush. In the creation of a project, there's so much heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears that goes into it. And I think it's always important to remember that there's so much of people in everything that is you see on stage. It's not just lights, it's not just costumes, it's not just a dance. There's so much of all of us inside of it that it's like really putting your heart on your sleeve when you let something live, and basically growing something and letting it go live its life on its own. So this project it's very special to me because of the team, because of the story, because of all of the tiny little pieces that made it what it was. It's a hard one to let go.